Imagine gliding through the heart of a bustling European city, effortlessly weaving between centuries-old buildings and lively cafes, behind the wheel of a car so ingeniously crafted that it transforms the daily grind of urban driving into an experience you genuinely look forward to. Now picture that same compact car not only delivering joy on the streets, but also sending shockwaves through the entire European electric vehicle landscape, armed with an innovation so disruptive that the titans of the industry, those storied brands you grew up admiring, never saw it coming. Could this be the moment when a fresh face from afar rewrites the very rules that have governed European roads for generations? Let's dive deep to find out how one little car could spark a revolution that changes everything about how Europe drives, commutes, and thinks about mobility. To fully grasp what's at stake, we need to travel back and explore the DNA of European urban transportation. For decades, the soul of Europe's cities has been embodied by the compact, stylish hatchback, a design philosophy that prioritizes maneuverability, efficiency, and charm over sheer size. Think about the Mini, a British legend that became a symbol of youthful rebellion in the 1960s, or the Fiat 500, which turned Italian streets into runways for chic, affordable mobility. These cars are more than mere vehicles. They are cultural icons, woven into the tapestry of daily life. In London, the Mini became as British as afternoon tea, while in Rome, the Fiat 500 is as familiar as an espresso at the corner bar. Their small footprints make them perfect for the labyrinthine streets of Paris, the cobblestones of Prague, and the bustling boulevards of Barcelona. Recently, however, a new force has swept across the continent: the electric revolution. Giants like Volkswagen with its ID family and Tesla with its Model 3 and Model Y have vied for dominance, pouring billions into research and development, building massive gigafactories, and launching aggressive marketing campaigns. Yet, beneath the surface, a quiet dissatisfaction has lingered. Many Europeans crave innovation, but they also demand affordability and practicality. The dream of a truly accessible electric hatchback, a car that delivers on fun, range, and cost, has remained elusive. Most electric vehicles launched by established players have been either too expensive or too large for the average city dweller. The market yearned for a breakthrough. That's where NIO enters the scene. Hailing from China, NIO began as a bold upstart, challenging domestic giants and carving out a name for itself with futuristic technology and daring design. Back home, NIO's approach to electric mobility turned heads and won awards. But when NIO set its sights on Europe, the road was anything but smooth. Initially, the company rolled out premium models, sleek SUVs, and sedans, priced competitively with BMW and Mercedes-Benz, aiming for the top end of the market. It was a high-stakes gamble. As NIO's visionary CEO William Lai candidly acknowledged, European expansion isn't easy. It demands adaptation and strategic partnerships. The European car market is fiercely brand loyal. Buyers often stick with names they trust, valuing reputation and reliability above novelty. NIO's initial foray, while ambitious, struggled to gain traction against brands with decades, or even centuries, of heritage. The challenge was compounded by a patchy distribution network and a battery-swapping infrastructure that, while revolutionary in China, was virtually non-existent in Europe. For many, the prospect of driving an unfamiliar brand, with unproven technology and limited support, was simply too risky. But NIO refused to back down. Instead, the company listened, learned, and pivoted. Enter the Firefly, a subcompact hatchback meticulously conceived for the unique needs and tastes of European drivers. Imagine a car roughly the size of a Ford Fiesta, yet with dimensions slightly larger than the beloved Mini Cooper. The Firefly is compact enough to slip into the tightest parking spaces of Parisian arrondissements, yet spacious enough inside to accommodate groceries, friends, or a weekend getaway bag. Its 42.1 kilowatt-hour battery delivers a generous 205 miles of real-world range, enough to handle daily commutes and spontaneous road trips alike. And in China, where it debuted to rave reviews, the Firefly starts at just $17,000, a price point that undercuts many competitors by thousands. But here's the twist. The Firefly isn't just about affordability or clever design. It's about changing the entire ownership experience. At its core is NIO's battery-swapping technology. Instead of tethering drivers to lengthy charging sessions, sometimes lasting hours, Firefly owners can pull into a dedicated station and within 3 to 5 minutes drive away with a fully charged battery. No more range anxiety, No more waiting, no more planning your day around charging stops. It's as close to the traditional refueling experience as electric vehicles have ever come. As Jiang Li, board secretary at CATL, the world's largest battery maker, put it, battery swap technology could reduce costs and extend battery lifespan, a win-win for European customers. To understand how transformative this could be, consider the daily routines of millions of Europeans. In cities like Amsterdam, where more than half the population cycles or walks, car ownership is often a pragmatic choice. For those who do drive, convenience is paramount. Apartment dwellers rarely have private parking, let alone home chargers. Public charging infrastructure, while expanding, remains plagued by queues, broken stations, and inconsistent payment systems. Imagine the appeal of a car that eliminates these headaches. A vehicle that promises seamless urban mobility with a quick battery swap at a nearby station. NIO isn't going it alone. Recognizing the complexities of the European market, the company has forged partnerships with established players like Hayden Mobility Group and Otto Wallace. These alliances are opening doors in Austria, Belgium, the Czech Republic, Hungary, Luxembourg, Poland, and Romania. By leveraging local expertise and networks, NIO is accelerating its rollout, ensuring that sales, service, and support meet the high expectations of European consumers. In parallel, NIO has shifted to a direct sales model in key markets such as Germany, the Netherlands, Denmark, and Sweden. This approach, inspired by Tesla's success, gives NIO greater control over pricing, customer experience, and brand perception. The Firefly is launching into a cauldron of competition. Its primary targets, the Mini Aceman, Fiat 500e, and Volkswagen's smaller electric models, are all racing to capture the hearts and wallets of city drivers. But the competitive landscape is shifting rapidly. According to Bloomberg's Advanced Analytics and Artificial Intelligence, Chinese automakers are intensifying their presence in Europe, bringing fresh designs, aggressive pricing, and cutting-edge technology. In a milestone moment, BYD, the powerhouse often dubbed the Tesla of China, surpassed Tesla in new electric car registrations across Europe in April of the year 2025. This isn't just a statistic. It's a sign that the balance of power in the EV world is tilting eastward. Yet, as the Firefly prepares to take flight across European roads, new challenges emerge. NIO is not the only company betting on battery swaps. CATL, the giant whose batteries power a significant share of the world's EVs, is rolling out its own network of swap stations across the continent. This raises the possibility of a standards war, a scenario reminiscent of the VHS versus Betamax rivalry in the early days of home video. Will drivers face a bewildering array of incompatible systems, or will the industry unite around a common platform? The stakes are enormous. A unified standard could make battery swapping the norm, unlocking unprecedented convenience for millions. But a fragmented approach risks confusion, wasted investment, and lost momentum. Meanwhile, the specter of tariffs looms large. Europe's regulators, eager to protect domestic manufacturers, are debating higher import duties on Chinese EVs. If imposed, these tariffs could erode the Firefly's price advantage, making it harder for NIO and its compatriots to compete. As Matt Schmidt, an analyst at Schmidt Automotive Research, warns, the next 2 years will decide which newcomers thrive and which get pushed out. The regulatory climate is as unpredictable as ever. Policies could shift with elections, trade disputes, or lobbying from established automakers. For NIO, agility and resilience will be crucial. Let's dig deeper into the infrastructure race. Building a network of battery swapping stations is no small feat. Each site requires significant investment, not only in equipment, but also in real estate, permitting, and technical support. The success of this model hinges on achieving a critical mass of vehicles and stations. If too few drivers opt in, the economics falter. But if adoption takes off, the benefits multiply. Early adopters could enjoy faster service, reduced battery degradation, and the flexibility to upgrade to newer, better batteries as technology evolves. In China, NIO has already installed more than 2,000 battery swap stations, completing over 20 million swaps to date. Can this success be replicated in Europe, with its patchwork of languages, regulations, and consumer preferences? Consider the numbers. Row Motion, a leading consultancy, projects that by the end of the year 2025, European electric vehicle sales will climb by 15%, reaching 3.5 million units. By the end of the decade, Western Europe alone could see nearly 8 million electric vehicles on the road. That's 8 million cars in need of reliable, fast, and user-friendly charging solutions. The potential market for battery swapping is vast. For cities where street parking is the norm and home charging is a luxury, battery swapping could be the silver bullet that unlocks mass adoption. Let's not forget the consumer perspective. For you, the viewer, considering an electric vehicle, the landscape is about to become more exciting and more complex than ever before. More models, more price points, more features. The era of waiting hours at a public charger is fading. Imagine finishing your workday, driving to a swap station on your way home, and being back on the road with a full battery in less time than it takes to grab a coffee. No more plotting your route around sparse chargers or suffering from range anxiety on a cold winter night. Battery swapping could make electric vehicles as convenient as their petrol-powered predecessors, erasing one of the last big barriers to adoption. Urban planners and policymakers are also watching closely. If battery swapping takes off, it could reshape the very fabric of European cities. Parking garages, shopping malls, supermarkets, and even office complexes could become hubs for ultra-fast battery exchanges. This would not only benefit private car owners, but also taxi fleets, delivery services, and public transportation. The knock-on effects are profound. Fewer cars idling at fast chargers means less urban congestion, lower emissions from electricity generation, and a smoother transition to green mobility. Cities like Oslo, which already leads the world in EV adoption, could become models for the rest of Europe and beyond. But this road is not without its potholes. European drivers are famously discerning. Trust takes time to build, especially for brands without deep roots in the region. NIO must not only deliver on its promises of performance and convenience, but also prove its commitment to quality, safety, and after-sales service. The company has responded by investing in training programs for technicians, establishing regional parts centers, and offering generous warranties. Whether this will be enough to win over skeptical buyers remains to be seen. Let's step back and view the bigger picture. The global automotive industry is undergoing its most profound transformation in over a century. The last great leap, the shift from horse-drawn carriages to the internal combustion engine, reshaped cities, economies, and daily life. Today, the rise of electric vehicles, digital connectivity, and artificial intelligence is driving a new era of disruption. Chinese companies, long dismissed as copycats, are now setting the pace, forcing established players to rethink everything from design to distribution. As the Firefly and its rivals race to conquer Europe, we may be witnessing the birth of new giants and the decline of old ones. History offers intriguing parallels. Think back to the post-war period, when Volkswagen's Beetle and Fiat's Cinquecento democratized car ownership across Europe. These models were affordable, reliable, and perfectly suited to the needs of their time. They transformed millions of lives, enabling new patterns of work, leisure, and social interaction. Could the Firefly, with its blend of price, technology, and convenience, become the 21st century's answer to these icons? Could it be the car that finally makes electric mobility accessible to all? Expert opinions are divided. Some see NIO's battery swapping as a game changer, a feature so compelling that it could tip the scales in favor of mass adoption. Others caution that the high cost of building infrastructure, regulatory hurdles, and entrenched consumer habits may limit its impact. The truth, as always, will likely fall somewhere in between. What's clear is that the next few years will be decisive. If NIO can scale its network, forge the right alliances, and weather the storms of tariffs and competition, it stands to become a household name. There's another layer to this story, a behind-the-scenes maneuver that could have far-reaching consequences. Quietly, almost invisibly, NIO is working hand-in-hand with German regulators to help shape the future of battery swapping standards. By influencing the rules of the game, NIO is positioning itself not just as a participant, but as an architect of Europe's next-generation transportation infrastructure. If successful, this could give the Firefly and its kin a lasting advantage, embedding their technology into the very fabric of the continent's mobility ecosystem. Let's look at some hypothetical scenarios. If battery swapping becomes mainstream, we could see a wave of partnerships between automakers, energy companies, and tech firms, all vying to capture a share of the emerging market. European brands, facing pressure from nimble Chinese competitors, might accelerate their own innovations, perhaps by developing modular battery packs or embracing new materials for lighter, longer-lasting cells. Governments, eager to meet climate goals, could incentivize the rollout of swapping stations, fast-tracking the transition to zero-emission fleets. Conversely, if a standards war erupts and no consensus emerges, the market could fracture, with incompatible systems slowing down progress and frustrating consumers. And what about the broader economic impact? The arrival of affordable, feature-rich electric vehicles from China is already forcing European automakers to rethink their strategies and cost structures. This could trigger a wave of mergers, acquisitions, or joint ventures as companies seek to pool resources and stay competitive. Consumers stand to benefit from lower prices and more choices, but the pressure on domestic manufacturers and suppliers could be intense. The stakes are enormous. Jobs, investments, and the future of entire industries hang in the balance. For the average driver, however, the immediate benefits are clear. The coming years will see an explosion of options in the electric vehicle market. You'll be able to choose from a wider range of models, price points, and features than ever before. Innovations like battery swapping, over-the-air software updates, and advanced driver assistance systems will become increasingly common. The days of waiting anxiously at a slow charger or worrying about making it home on a single charge are coming to an end. So as we stand on the cusp of this new era, let's revisit our original question. Will NIO's Firefly really reshape Europe's electric vehicle landscape? The answer is nuanced. The Firefly has already made a powerful statement. It has forced established players to take notice, ignited debates about infrastructure and standards, and offered millions of drivers a tantalizing glimpse of a more convenient, affordable future. But the race is only just beginning. Success will depend on NIO's ability to build trust, scale its network, adapt to shifting regulations, and outpace rivals like BYD and CATL. Here's a little-known fact to ponder. NIO's involvement in shaping battery swapping standards could have ripple effects far beyond Europe. If successful, this model could be exported to other regions facing similar challenges. Think crowded Asian megacities or burgeoning African capitals. The Firefly may be small in size, but its ambitions and its potential impact are anything but. If you've found this journey into the future of mobility eye-opening, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the forces reshaping our world. What do you think? Could the Firefly become the next Mini or Volkswagen Beetle, a car that defines an era and changes how we live? Or will it be just another spark in a crowded, fast-moving field of contenders? Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. Until next time, keep your eyes on the road ahead, and remember,